Hey, Noah family, it's Pastor Matt with your devotional thought for today. In Habakkuk chapter 2, we see the prophet corresponding with the Lord, and we see the following interaction recorded for us. And the Lord answered me, "Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come, it will not delay. Behold, his soul is puffed up. It is not upright within him, but the righteous shall live by his faith." Now, it's important for us to understand the context in which Habakkuk is writing this. So what's happening is that the Chaldeans have been, they're wicked. They're a wicked people. In fact, the Lord describes them that way in chapter 2. And yet, they are ruling over the Israelites, ruling over Judah at this time. And Judah has not been honoring to the Lord. And yet there were false prophets among the people at that time that were telling them that God would never judge his chosen people, that his chosen people will be spared from judgment so they could live however they wanted to live. And they were steeped in wickedness. And so because of that, our Lord, who knows what's best and who is righteous and holy and all that, he decided that he was going to use a wicked nation to punish his own people in that regard, and that his righteousness and his justice would certainly prevail, that those wicked people who are ruling wickedly would also give an account. And yet at the same time, as a prophet to the people of Israel, to the nation of Israel, he needs to record the truth of what's coming their way. And that's why I wanted to include verse 4 in this, although there's a whole lot more in this book. It's only 3 chapters, but there's a lot of really helpful content for us. But in verse 4, he says, "Behold, his soul is puffed up. It is not upright within him, but the righteous shall live by his faith." And that's what it comes down to. Those who are righteous are not simply righteous because they are ethnically Jewish. They are ethnically in the line of Abraham. They're not the righteous ones because they are in his lineage. They're righteous because of their faith. Because they live by faith in the Lord. Let's look at verses 2 and 3. "And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it." When he says make it plain on tablets so that he may run who reads it, it can mean possibly 3 different things. The first one could be that due to the plainness of writing, if it's written with clarity and utter plainness, then a person's eyes could run quickly across the tablet and they could understand it easily. There's not a lot of confusion there. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that the one who reads it and carries that message to the people would run with that plain message, that make this plain on tablets so that he may run who reads it. He can run off and get that message out to the people. And the third possibility is that he may run who reads it, meaning that it's so plain that the judgment of the Lord is coming, that he who reads this will flee God's judgment and actually flee his life of sin, that he would run because he sees what's coming. That the judgment of the Lord, the righteous judgment of the Lord is coming, and so he's going to run from his ways, run for fear of the Lord and fear of the judgment that is to come. So it could be any of those 3. Honestly, it's disputed as to what is intended, but we know that God's commanding that he record this on tablets and that there is an intended response from those who would read it. Look at verse 3. "For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." This vision will come to pass. The Lord is not lying about this. He cannot lie about this. And I think this is a call to wait on the Lord's timing, to persevere even when things are dark and difficult. Because again, for the people of the Lord living in that time, it would have been dark. It would have been hard to see the many people who would be amongst God's chosen people who are not living for the Lord. That'd be hard to see, and then to see the oppression that they were facing in their lives. So the Lord is saying, hey, this is going to come to pass. All these woes that I'm about to give to all those oppressors, to all those evildoers, all those workers of lawlessness, all those things will happen. If it seems slow, wait for it. And I actually think for us, in our day and time, this is really important for us to hold to. We need to remember this as well, because there are a lot of promises of the Lord in the same way that he gave these to Habakkuk, and that would eventually come to pass, that this vision would come, and ultimately the Chaldeans would face the judgment of the Lord, and their entire kingdom would fall to the Persians, because the Chaldeans were Babylonians in that regard. So anyway, that would happen, but it would take time. And I think for us to recognize, hey, The Lord is returning. His return will happen. He promised it, just as he promised to Habakkuk. And the timing will be exactly right, just as the Father has ordained. So we need to wait on his timing, his perfect timing. And if it seems like it's not going to come, wait for it. Surely wait for it. So let us seek to be the righteous ones covered by the blood of Christ. And in that righteousness that we have before the Lord, let us walk out the identity that is ours. We are righteous before him, so let us live by faith in him, that our actions and our deeds might align with the righteousness that's been imputed to us by Christ's gracious work on the cross.